Hey, I'm Dave. Welcome home. I've got a thing. I'm always got a thing. Neighbor cut down a piece of cherry, and I grabbed a couple of pieces. This is a tiny, tiny, tiny one. I roughed it out, sort of rough. Left a big stem on the end of it to hold it in my chuck. It's very, very, very oval at this point. I brought it home. It was soaking wet, and along with a couple of other pieces. And I brought it home on the 6th of January, and here we are at the 29th. It started out weighing 385 grams, and as of now, it weighs 245 grams. So it's lost about a third of its weight in water, evaporation. Now, I had coated it with shellac. I probably should have put 2 coats of shellac on. I was trying to retard the rapid drying so that it wouldn't shrink too much in some places and not enough in others and crack. Well, 1 coat of shellac wasn't enough. I usually paint, but I wanted to keep the bark looking. So shellac, which is probably going to be the final finish on this, it was a good idea for the shellac, except I should have put 2 coats on. 1 coat wasn't enough. It did dry a little bit too rapidly in some places, and it got a few cracks. Hopefully, once they turned out, the cracks mostly are on the long parts, the parts that didn't shrink, therefore they cracked. And hopefully they'll turn out, I'm hoping. Anyway, we'll see what comes of that. I'm going to take it to the shop now and see what's in it. So, you probably want to come along for the ride. Let's go do that. Okay, so, get some lights on. There we go. I've got a spigot jaw on my Nova chuck, and I left this big tenon on here. When this was wet, this thing was mushy. It's like grabbing onto a sponge. It's much, much better than that now. I wouldn't, it dry, I don't need it that big, but there it is. So I'm using it. And this is it's gonna be a couple of things happen here. But the first of them is going to be to try to find the center of this, get a little bit of the outside of this, and then I'm probably going to put a post in the jaw and run the tailstock in and try to work the bottom of it, because I don't have any way to grab it inside at the moment. There is an option, if I can get it to the right size. I don't think this will work. There's an option of getting something on the inside. We'll see, maybe I can. But right now, I'm going to do this and spin it up. This is tiny, so it'll go on high speed. And let's see what we can do. It's got a little bit more of a crack on this end right in here, which is the long dimension than I'd want. It could be I'm going to fill that and put some CA glue in it. We'll see. Little teeny scrapers. I don't want to go too hard, too fast. We'll see. Taking a little bit of time to come up to speed. Truth is, I don't know for sure that I've got this chucked up well enough. I hate to see it hit the wind. Yeah, I thought I felt it wiggle. The spigot that I've got on there is, or tenon, whatever you want to call it, it isn't actually round anymore, right? So I'm only grabbing it a little bit. Maybe this time. All right, here we go again. Stopping and looking. Oh, look at that. That inside's rounded out. It's rounded out fine. I can actually make it a little bit bigger. I think I'm going to do a little bit on the outside next and see how much I can get that into some sort of round shape. That would be great. It's a funny little bouncy thing. Yeah, still not there. Getting closer. I can sort of see that ghost image. Boy, the cracks are more prevalent than I thought. Wow, there's a lot of cracks. Wow, a lot of cracks. All right, a little more. Funny bouncing things. It's not loose. Oh, it's plucking. Bad grain. Yeah. All right. A little more. I think I'm going to try scraping. Done. All done. Okay. Scraping was catching on this rising grain right here. And that was jaw action. Smack. All right. Let's try it again. Why quit now? Let's go back to the never going to get something to work on the inside. Got that. All right. Now I'm going to grab this thing. It's irregular, and I'm going to grab it in a new location. So, you know, there goes its, well, I'm not true round anyway, so I'm not really missing much. Tighten it more. And just the heck of it, I'm going to put a mark here on where jaw number 1 is. From there to there. Got it. In case I actually get this off and get it back on again. That time. Still have a lot of bark, and I'm still not down to wood all the way around. So, more. Do it again. It happened again. I'm, you know. Wow. Real chewy over here. Real chewy. Boy, I hesitate to say it, but I'll say it anyway. That cut felt a little smooth. This area that I've been having the big problem with is getting a little bit better. I think it's time to give this a dose of glue. I'm going to pour some CA glue into all of this. This area where it's falling apart, this is the sapwood, or maybe even the cambium layer right under the bark. Not good. All right, and there, another layer of it there. Okay, and I'm going to, so I've flooded the cracks on the outside. Some of them have run right through to the inside. That's the good thing of this glue. Now I'm going to give it a shot of accelerator, which really works. Causes some sort of wacky chemical linking chain reaction. Very cool. And now I've got a little bit thicker version of the glue I'm going to put in. It's something. A little more accelerator. Although that stuff should probably be accelerated by the stuff that I put on first. Anyway, there's that. All right. I'm going to end up with a lot of that in my face. I'm going to switch over and go to the front side. All right, here we are. That's about all I'm going to get out of that in terms of thickness. I'll dress it a little bit and then try to make it a little teeny bit deeper. Right at the moment, right to there, 1.5 inches. I could go another 1/4 inch. I'm too low. I can understand you want to get as close as you can with the rest. Take a look at what that looks like. Do I want to touch it again and risk breaking it, blowing it apart? I don't know. Okay, so I've got about 3/16 of an inch thick at the top, maybe 1/4. Then it fades, gets a little thicker, about 1/2 of an inch, maybe 3/8 right there. I think I'm just going to do one cleanup pass on the inside of this thing and call it good. No more shape. Pretty sure that's it. Not awful at all. Cool. All right, now I've got some lumpy, bumpy glue. Sounds like a country western song, I know, but I do. A little bit of lumpy glue. I got to get that off. So my cracks are all filled. The outside of this thing is a mess. It's got wall thickness of sorts. I think it's time to sand it. I'm not going to win anything no awards if I try and make this any different. Get some 100 grit paper and be right back. So, I know I said 100 grit, but it turns out I ran into some 80, which is what this needs. I didn't lose any body parts. This is it's remarkable. It's feels smooth and primitive at the same time. That's great. I think I still want to get still want to get some 100 grit paper. I also want to do some sanding right there. This is kind of an alone spot. Look at me go. Let me get some 100 grit paper now. This is doesn't say. Feels like 100. Might be 120. Good enough. That's so cool. This is such a distressed piece of wood. I can't get over it. All right, I am now going to yank this off there and try to come up with some way to get that slipped around so I can work the bottom of it. Get this a little bit out of the way. And tailstock, I've got a live center in it already. That's open. See, I've got to get this business off the bottom, and it's not flat. It's nothing good. So I want to try to put something there, mount this, put the tailstock on it right there. I've got a center mark from before. And then maybe get into some turning on that. Let's see what I can come up with. Got this little gem, which I believe fits in here. That's too big. Let's get rid of that. Drop the screw. That's a little square to this. Not an awful thing, but I could do a little bit better. Give it a little bit of round shape. A little bit. Sort of matches the inside of the, take the cornice off at least. Let's do that. And I'm just going to use this scraper. I bet that will fit. Pretty good. And one more thing. Yes. Yes, he said yes. I'm going to cut myself a little piece of scrunchy fabric. It's rubbery cloth, I think. Rubberized. Rubberish. Put that there. That there. Non-skid, right? I'll bring the tailstock up. Come on. All right. Lock it. Bring this in. I'm on it. Not awful. Did you see that stall? I did. Creepy. This is being driven by the friction of that little pad that I put in there. So this, been using a scraper, it's working really, really well until it gets into a cutting the whole dimension of the scraper, and then it's too much. So I've got to remember to keep a light touch on the corners, so to speak. I'm going to come in here with a skew chisel and skew a little bit of this bottom flat. Still not sure if I've got the whole flat bottom. I don't think so. I think there's a corner still. Yes, right there. All right, do it again. I can do that. Got to be good enough. I can take the rest of that off with a chisel in my hand. I need to sand it. I can pass some sandpaper over it. It'll do no harm. I think I'll use this opportunity to sand the outside. Now it's spinning in quotes in a different direction. And so the fibers, which I've been laying back one way, and I'll get curved over the other. Good enough. Take this off. That wandered. Cool. All right, and there's our little bowl. I'll take this piece off the bottom, like that, and we're throw a little finish on it. We're good to go. That's a sweetheart. I love it. You know, get your Christmas list going. Next one could be yours. We'll see you. Well, that is cool. I mean, this is cute as the bugs here. So this has a little teeny bit, tacky bit of finish on it, and it looks great. I don't know what it is, but there it is. This is one I did very similar earlier. This one has a few more problems than that one. This one's got cracks in it, this one doesn't. But this one, in the process of chasing the last of the cracks, I made it so thin. It's almost of no value. It's ridiculously thin. Anyway, but cute. Got these done. They'll dry enough to take home in a couple of, maybe half an hour. And we'll put them into the collection. Thanks for watching. Can't beat this stuff. Cherry. So, check this out. Shellac's all dry. Everything seems good. I've got some paste wax, and I'm going to give the old paste wax and buff finish. I like the shellac, but you know, there's nothing like some steel wool and wax to finish something off. You can probably see the cracks. I'm guessing you can see the cracks. Let me check. Yeah, of course you can. You can probably see the cracks that I was worried about before. Well, it turns out there were, even though I saw some cracks that I thought I could turn off, there were cracks that I didn't see, that I obviously didn't manage to turn off. But we're going to live with them. I put some CA glue in them, if you recall, and that's the solution to all problems these days for amateurs like myself. But that's the outside of it. Get the inside. It's a surprisingly smaller than it was when it was a freshly dried out chunk. Walls are nice and thin though. I mean, it's got a certain level of delicacy to it. They're about 3/16 of an inch thick, maybe a quarter in places. Anyway, so there it is. We'll buff it up a little bit, and all will be good. So, there it is, our cute little, I don't know, an M&M bowl or something, maybe some nuts. It's too small for car keys. The way car keys are these days. Anyway, bowl, bark, cherry, few cracks. They're pretty well sealed up, I think. I don't think anything more is going to happen to it. It's got that, I went a little bit oval sort of look to it. I'm pleased. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me on it. It's been fun, as most times. And you know, we'll come up with another piece of wood, do it again. We'll see you.